RKW continues in hour 3 this morning, talking Titans. Brad Hopkins in for Ramon Foster. With Kayla Anderson, I'm Will Bowling. Robert Walsh makes the show happen as we are joined not only by a former Tennessee Titan, but a former teammate of Ran Carthon's and friend of the show, Ben Troupe, here on the phones with us this morning. Ben, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, man, I'm doing my best to keep it as PG as I can. What's up, B-Hop, man? I ain't seen you in a minute, man. What's up, big time?
I swear to God I was talking about you the other day. I promise I was. How you been, BT?
Listen, I've been great, man. Congratulations to you and your son, man. I see you guys, in the transportation business, man. I haven't been to Nashville in a while, but if we do make it up there, we're going to do our best to travel in style.
On the hot, baby. We'll get you. We got you. Nice
Absolutely
for the plug. Thanks
love
for the plug, brother.
Ben, I know you've got a lot of thoughts, so you have the floor. What's your reaction to the news yesterday of Ran Carthon being let go?
I was disappointed for a lot of reasons. I mean, because when you think about the situation that happened with Rand, it make him look like he's not qualified for the position. He's the only person I ever seen that got a promotion in 2024, and then you let him go within the same year because you're trying to blame everything on him. Chad Brinker, I've never met him. I have nothing against him, but you name me an organization that the president of football operations get to pick the team, get to answer to Miss Adams. And he gets to kind of have the final say so when they pick the new GM. The difference between good teams and bad teams is this. Good teams use words like reload. Bad teams use words like rebuild. How long have we been hearing the Titans are going to rebuild, Titans are going to rebuild? When Rand got hired 2 years ago, everybody want to make it the big viral moment. He's coming in. I know it's not called Baptist Sports Park now. He's coming into the facility. Everybody's all love and doing all these things, and then you let him go. And then when Chad Brinker comes out and says, our new strategy is going to be our strategy is going to be to go out there and draft, develop, and retain. Well, every team does that. Every team is going to draft, they're going to develop, and they're going to retain. Here's the thing, though. He says, but we got to practice patience and not panic. That must have just happened. They must have just decided we're going to practice patience, not panic, because if you are Ran Carthon, it makes you look like I am not good at what I do. And then he said the GM we want to get wouldn't have a background in scouting. I'm like, is he trying to slap Ran in the face? Nobody is more qualified for this position than Ran Carthon when you're talking about coming up through the ranks, but I do get it. Didn't I have a good season? That can't all be on Rand. Didn't I have, but you let go of guys like Derrick Henry. Oh, I'm sorry. He rushed for 1,900 yards. A.J. Brown, he's going back to the playoffs. Blame that on Rand. It's easy to blame it on the guy out the building because Rand, because he wants to have a future in the league, potentially as another GM, he's got to say the right things. He's not going to throw him under the bus. But if you are the Titans, which I'm always going to support the two-tone blue, what happened yesterday shows you why in an AFC South that the Houston Texans won, which is a real bad division right now, they're going to remain where they at if they keep on making decisions like this.
Former Titan Ben Troupe, our guest this morning on Ramon, Kalen, Will. And Ben, that was one of our reactions as well when the job description of GM, literally from Chad Brinker, was described as someone who's had their career as a scout, is a top-flight, top-level evaluator who has spent the majority of their career projecting college players to the NFL and had a major hand in setting the draft board and preferably a consistent winning organization where you can see the fingerprints all over the roster. Ben, that describes Ran Carthon. That's exactly the description they had of him last year when they gave him an extension, right?
That's exactly who they're describing. And if you are a future GM, and you are, because obviously you're going to take the call they want to bring you in, how much power do you really have? Like, what do you really get to do behind the scenes besides be a face, be a slot filler? Because it sounds like behind the scenes, Chad Brinker is the one that get to make the decisions. You just have a GM. That's my position, but that's not actually what I do. It's like being an offensive coordinator that don't get to call plays. That's my position, but I don't get to do anything besides run meetings. I don't get to call plays on Sunday. I don't understand it. I don't know no other team in football that the president of football operations make the decisions. I don't know no other team in sports that they do that. So I don't know what's going on with the Titans. Obviously, this is why I do what I do, and this is why they do what they do. But it's supposed to make sense to the people you saying it to. So if you're sitting in that press conference, you like, that sounds like Ran, but y'all just let him go. But y'all let Vrabel go because no one really understood why you did that. Now you bring in a guy who you thought wouldn't get along with Vrabel, and then you bring in Coach Callahan. So this time in 2025, if everything happens in 2025, which we hope it does, like it did in 2024, who are you going to blame then? Are you going to blame Chad Brinker? Because he's the one that's going to pick him. Or are they going to come up with another strategy? I just don't understand it for a lot of reasons. I feel bad for Ran for the simple fact that it looks like he's, inept in what he's doing, and I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. That when I was with the Titans, and Marcus Robinson, who used to play for the Titans, he was a player personnel guy. He told me when I talked to him, he said, "I want to be a GM one day." I said, "For who?" He said, "For the Titans." I can only imagine what Marcus Robinson is saying right now with what they just did to Ran. I said, dude, y'all was in a great position, and I'm not making this a black or white thing. He just happens to be a black dude, and it just looks like the black guys just don't get the same rope as the white guys. And I don't understand if mediocrity is rampant through the league, from a lot of GMs, players, coaches, why is it, the Gerard Mayos, the Antonio Pierces, you talk about the Ran Carthon, they get the short end of the stick, which means the next guy coming behind them don't get an interview. They won't get the job, but they will get the art run the room.
Former Titan Ben Troupe joining us this morning on RK Dub. And Ben, when you look at the structure that they put out last year in terms of upper management, it was to be made very clear, like each person has a kind of a thing to fulfill, and this is what their role is, and we're going to work together. They used collaboration as one of those buzzwords. And for me, like, everybody brings something different to the table, right? You work together to make it all work. Ran has some great things about him. Chad had some great things about him. Brian is the coach. He's supposed to do his job. So why after 1 year is it one person's fault? I think that's what is very confusing to me, because if it's a 3-14 record you're upset about, wouldn't you just cut down the tree?
Yeah, and I think the thing that's being missed with all this is how hard culture is to build. Culture is the hardest thing to build in sports, the hardest thing to build in a family, in a business, and culture takes time. You look at the best teams in the National Football League, the best team in sports, especially in football, they got three things in common. They got a head coach, they got a quarterback, and they got a culture to go along with it. Any one of those good teams, when it comes to the Titans, I think they got the right coach. I really, really do. I think Coach Callahan is going to be good if they give him time. Right now, I don't know what type of team they're going to have, which means you don't have a culture because the culture was built through the locker room. Well, who can resonate with the locker room better than Ran? He could actually walk through the locker room. He could tell, Tate, who just got the 49-yard touchdown pass. Hey man, I know what it's like being undrafted and getting called up.
Tate Martin, yeah.
Tate Martin. So now when we start talking about different things when it comes to the Titans, it's just a head scratcher. Look, it's the business. The hardest thing I had to learn, I appreciate people like Brad Hopkins who helped me understand the business of football, man. It's going to do something to your mind because it is unforgiving. It don't owe you no understanding. And when the more you try to understand it, it just bothers my mind. But hey, it happens. I know Ran going to land on his feet. It's just a head scratcher with the off season that, who's going to be the number one overall pick. If they were just afraid for Ran to make the number one overall pick, they could have just said that.
What do you feel like then is the solution moving forward, Ben? Because I personally don't think this is an overnight solution, but it's going to be put out there, I believe, like we can fix this. What would make you happy next season to see in terms of change?
Well, the biggest thing is, actually do what you say. If you said that, we're going to be practicing patience and not panic, I want to see that happen. I want to see the number one overall pick not get traded. You get a Cam Moore, you get a Shadur Sanders because you cannot win in this league if you don't have a quarterback. If you don't have a quarterback, it's going to be hard to do it. And, get back to being competitive in the AFC South. That's up for grabs. I mean, Houston won a division that's really, really bad. And if you are a Titans organization, you better start being more transparent because it ain't about the players that's in the draft. It's about these veterans to get to pick where they want to go. Because right now, they look at the Titans, they say, man, I know they got no state tax, but I don't know if I want to go to a Titans team because we're looking at what goes on with free agents like Bayard, with guys like Derrick Henry that you let go. Jeffrey Simmons going to get his money, but he's also a top 2, top 3 defensive tackle in the league. What if I am a guy because you got rid of D-Hop, right? How you going to develop a guy like Traylon Burks? It's going to be a lot of things that you're going to have to do, but the main thing you have to win in the NFL is perception. If you don't win the perception battle, or the reality is not going to be something you can handle because these veterans, rookies don't get it because they come into the league. These veterans that want to go to different teams in free agency, you're going to have to be able to do what you say because they're going to ask you questions when you're trying to get them to come to your team, say, hey, man, why y'all did that to Ran Carthon like that? What's going on in y'all front office? Because if y'all do that to him who made the decision, what about me who have to execute those decisions? I'm on the first floor. I have to deal with what happens on the second floor. I think if they can, answer some of those questions, I think they got a shot to be back in it. Because like I said, the AFC South, winning going to cure all this stuff. But if you're not winning, you better be doing something in other areas like free agency, like making sure you make good front office decisions. But like I said, it's a moment of time when they kick the ball off in the fall, it's all going to go away. But for right now, the Titans aren't looking real good. Outside of the number 1 overall pick, they don't really have a lot going on for themselves.
I know that's right, Benjamin. In 2004, Ben Troupe was drafted in the second round to this franchise, and he was but a snot-nosed rookie. But I'm going to tell you what, I saw this dude as a tremendous athlete and, to me, played one of the more pivotal positions as a tight end here. And the ironic part is your first year in the league, Ben, was also Ran Carthon's first year in the league. And also Chad Brinker was going into his second year in the league with the Jets. So you can see where the playing experience, it does resonate when you're a part of the whole picking of the groceries, so to speak. But the question I have for you is really about what the guys in the locker room are thinking about this whole situation, where the trust factor and the culture that you talk about is so hard to build comes from. So put your helmet on, whether it be the white one that you and I wore or the blue one that the guys wear now. What do you think that they're thinking about all these changes and maybe the firing of Ran Carthon?
The public conversation when they talking to the media, B-Hop, they saying the right things because they understand something I can say could really, really decide my present and my future. Them private conversations at home, they talking how we talk when we talk to each other, saying, look, man, it's messed up. Because I believe that Ran Carthon, when they say once a scout, always a scout. Even though he put on that GM hat, he goes, I understand these dudes because I was them. And Ran was the 53 man on the roster. I'm the 53rd guy. I'm not a starter. I have to work my way into it. And I think the thing about it is when private conversations at home don't match the public conversations to the media, you have a problem because now I'm putting on a good face. I'm putting on a professional face. And B-Hop, I got to give people like you a lot of credit. You were already established in this league, but you didn't treat me like that. You didn't treat me like yes, you Brad Hopkins, you him, but you treated me like, look, man, we equals. I know you're Ricky. We gonna need each other. I don't know who that is for the Titans. I'm not saying they don't have that, but when I came in, Mac, may he rest in peace. You guys have no idea how much. We wanted to call y'all sir, but then don't call him. Keith Bullock, don't call him sir, man. Don't call him. I said that's Brad Hopkins, but it's like it was never. You guys helped us become professionals by how y'all work, by how y'all went about y'all business. And obviously, I'm going to always be forever indebted, B-Hop, for that 65, Impala that you sold.
Yes.
And here's the thing. It's not so much that you sold it to me. It's the fact that you even heard me out when I say, B-Hop, I want that one you drove the other day. Now, I didn't know you had the convertible until I seen Albert Haynes. I said, wait a minute, he had a vert too? But at the same time, B-Hop, people like you are the reason why teams are good. It's never going to be. The coach can only do so much. Michael Strahan said to Tom Coughlin, you can say whatever you want to say to me, but they don't listen to me because I play. So you can say if you're 15 minutes early, you're late, they're going to listen to me. We listen to you, B-Hop, because you respected Jeff Fisher. And you respect the Mike Holmgren, those guys. Because you respect them, we respect them. Because at the end of the day, you're not the one running out there. I love Jeff Fisher, and I appreciate him. And Floyd Reese, I don't know if the Titans got that on their roster right now. If the right person spoke with everybody listen, it's not going to be your quarterbacks right now. Nothing against them. So is it Jeffrey Simmons? Is it Calvin Ridley, who's only been there a year? Players who are established on teams set the culture. That's what the culture is. I don't know who the Titans have that right now, but I can say right here, and this is no disrespect, ain't no Brad Hopkins on that team right now. Yeah. And that's no disrespect to those guys. You don't give enough credit to B-Hop for the team stayed together, because when you say, hey, guys, listen up, you and Kevin Carter and those type of guys, when y'all say we doing yoga, ain't never did yoga. And when Kevin Carter said the only person people supposed to be talking is people who not rookies, we like, well, I'm a grown man. I ain't gonna say it out loud, but he ain't talking to me. Well, yeah, he is too. So I appreciate them down dog days in the bubble. I ain't understand what he was doing, but B-Hop was walking in doing. I'm like, I don't want to do this. There go B-Hop. There go you walking in. I say, well, how am I not going to be for something, a Pro Bowler? So for me, if they don't get some people like you, B-Hop, it's going to be a long 2025. I don't care who they get in the draft or free agency.
I know you get this question asked of you a lot, especially when the Titans, unfortunately, are picking first in the draft. But where do you think they should go?
Listen, there are times in life that God gives you a mulligan, and you say, hey, we get the number one pick. Thank you, Gerard Mayo. Thank you, New England Patriots. I think that at the end of the day, you got to get one of these people. If you trade out, people going to go crazy. Trade out and get who? No. Handle free agency the way you're supposed to handle it. His name is Cam or his name is Shadur. Now, Cam is going to come, with 156 touchdown passes. I did it in JUCO and 2 different colleges, both Washington State and Miami. Shadur going to come with his brother following around with a camera. Now, you got to get used to that. But if you get used to his brother following him around with a camera, because the young man can play, you get you a quarterback. Because B-Hop, look, every time I'm on your side blocking, I can do no wrong because you're going to take care of yours and mine. I said, I can do no wrong with this left side with B-Hop. Then I'm not out there getting like old Aaron Kenny, but at the same time, get you one of these quarterbacks and you can live with it. Because if you get anything other than Cam and Shadur, people in Nashville, they know what they're looking at. And they say, what? I know who can't. You don't have to introduce Cam Ward. You don't have to introduce Shadur Sanders. You don't have to introduce Travis Hunter. Outside of that, you're going to have to put these boys on billboard signs. They're going to have to do press conferences and releases because you ain't going to know who they are. Get you one of these quarterbacks and get you a veteran of free agency and leave it alone.
He is Ben Troupe, former Tennessee Titans tight end at Ben Troupe 84, where you follow him on Twitter. He brings it every time he is on with us here on RKW. Ben, great to hear from you, sir. Appreciate you.
Great job, Ben.
Thanks,
Listen,
Ben.
you guys are the best. Listen, be hot, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. To see you and your son doing it as a tandem, it makes me feel good in my soul. Listen, I'm looking forward to seeing you when I get back to the National. I know y'all that got bougie these days. West End got y'all drinking tea with y'all picky out. But it's all good. I'm loving it.
Love you, Ben.
Love you, man.
There he is, Ben Troupe. Appreciate him this morning talking some Titans with us. All right, we've got a couple minutes to let you react and take over again. 615-737-1045. I've gone back and found what Amy Adams Strunk and the Titans said about Ran Carthon last year.
Perfect.
When he got an extension. I'm going to read it for you word for word coming up next.